Okay, so let's start, everybody, in downward dog. Let's go straight into our downward dog, our lucky dog pose. I'm going to tell you before we start that Dingo loves this mat. She sleeps on it in the sun. I just noticed her dog footprints all over. So kind of good doing downward dog with dog footprints. So spread out your paws, bend your knees, and let's shift up and back and make tons of space in your spine and your lower back. Take a breath in, root down through the hands, which means that you're not clenching the fingertips, you're elongating them, but pressing down. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in again. Breathe out. I come into a plank position just for one breath. I'm not going to be holding some big long plank. I just want to show you a few basic movements. Bring your knees down to the floor as you breathe out, but keep your hands rooted and come into a child's pose. Now don't stay there long. When you breathe in, flip forward into a cobra and breathe in. I'm just going to alternate between those four movements.
Tuck your toes under and press back. Breathe out deep, downward dog. Inhale one more time, plank. Exhale, child's pose. Sink your hips down, press your chest. Almost Anahatasana. Inhale, cobra. Awaken your spine. Exhale, downward dog. Make your hips long. Stay here, downward dog. Breathe in, 1. Root your heels down. Breathe out, number 2. Breathe in. Breathe out. Feet forward between the hands. Long in the spine. Breathe in. And fold forward and stretch. Now take a few breaths here. I've been writing so many details about so many poses recently. I'm going to try not to get too technical and kind of censor myself from all the technical details. Just keep the breath long and deep, but I did want to say one thing. I've been writing a lot about fascia, about the connective tissue, the collagen. The body has a fibrous gel that it's a matrix that is suspended upon. All I want you to do is really get into that today. So really feel that you're not just stretching fibers. Okay, keep breathing as I'm talking. Our mission today is to really feel that we are moving the fascia of the body into a more gel-like substance. So just think of more metaphorically melting tension and not just stretching it out. Breathe out. Moving from a solid, breathe in, to more of a liquid state as we breathe out. Spread your toes. Inhale, come on up. Take your time because we've been down there a while. Then close your eyes and take about 25 seconds to really feel the power of the feet, like rocket ships. The elongation out through the crown and the long neck and the breath in 3 dimensions. All right. Take a breath in, arch back. Take a breath out and fold forward and hear the breath. Now take your left foot back into a lunge like Shivananda sun salutations. Bend your right leg, look up, hands on the floor. Straighten your right leg and breathe out into a pyramid. Don't force it, we're just starting. Bend your knee, breathe in. Now step back into downward dog, but it's an Anahatasana. You're pressing your chest through your arms. Ripple forward now into an upward dog. So you can keep your toenails on the floor or not. Send your hips back into a downward dog. Send your chest through your arms. Breathe out. Take your right foot forward. Breathe in. Drop your hips low. Uttanasana. Straighten your legs. Top of the mat. Breathe out. Inhale. Hips forward. Arch. Exhale. Fold forward and stretch. Right foot back. Breathe in, bend your knee. Exhale, straighten your left leg, pyramid. Breathe out. Inhale, awaken, bend your knee. Exhale, glide back to an Anahatasana, downward dog. Inhale, ripple forward into your upward dog position. Exhale, glide back into downward dog. Left foot lunges, hands on the floor, look up, sink your hips low. Exhale, fold, stretch, breathe out. Inhale, arms go up high, hips forward, weight more on the toes, arch. Exhale deeply, stick your tongue out and fold. Get long, take your left foot back, breathe in, drop your hips low. Exhale, pyramid. Breathe out, easy does it. Inhale, bend your knee, right knee. Exhale, press back into downward dog, chest through the arms. Make a ripple through the spine as you come forward and up. Glide back into a downward dog, making that out-breath sound. Right foot steps, look forward and up, hips low. Join the feet, spread open your toes. From that foundation of the feet, reach up, heart lifts. Fold forward and stretch, empty. Last leg, right foot. Bring it back, bend your knee. Straighten your left leg, stretch, breathe out. Inhale, ripple, come on up. Exhale, back we go, downward dog. You got the pattern, breathe in. Breathe out and press back into downward dog. Left foot steps, take a breath. Fold forward, let tension out. Inhale, reach your arms up and arch back. Exhale, fold forward, interlace the hands behind you. Broaden your chest. Now again, just bring it back to our theme, melt your tightness out. Breathe in and expand. Breathe out. Go again, breath in. And breathe out, hands to the floor. Look up and breathe in. Take your left foot back to a lunge. Drop the left knee down. We're going slowly up into a nice King Arthur lunge, Knights of the Yoga Round Table. Now top of the left foot, press it onto the floor, press forward. And let's get a little bit technical. Take your thumb, left thumb, under your left hip, and press your left hip forward and up as you descend the thigh down. So again, this mouth, metaphorical mouth, in the front of the left hip opens up. Now arms go upwards towards the sky, and even outside of this practice, just make a commitment to this. Do this pose often, every day, because if your psoas gets tight, your spine suffers. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in again. And let something go. One more, go deeper. Let's sink the hips down. Melting again is our theme. Hands to the floor. Tuck your left toe under, breathe in. Now ready, aim, fire. Straighten your right leg, but more specifically, press your right hip up and back. So there's definitely a stretch happening, don't get me wrong, as in an elongation of the muscle fibers. but there's a widening, a width happening, and a liquefying. Feel all that happening with your breath. Breathe in. Breathe on out. Now slowly from here, take your arms, open them wide. Now I'm going to challenge you already early in practice. It's easier if you bring your left heel down, I know it, but if you really get the strength through the legs, bend your knees, then you're going to feel stable even with your left heel up. So imagine your left hand pressing into a wall, and I'm pulling my right hip back to create this tension here, which is stretch. And we're going to slowly evolve around into a revolved triangle, except start with your left hand on your right shin and your right arm up. Make it casual. Now, if you can start to go deeper, then and only then start to bring the left hand around. But if your left foot's not working, your sprinter arch, we call it, you're going to feel unsteady. Pull the right hip back. Keep breathing in. Melt tightness in your obliques out when you empty. One more time. Now join hands onto the floor. Take a breath in. Just one pyramid pose to stretch it out. Let it go. To the top, join both feet, lengthen your spine. It's nothing complicated today at all. Just fold forward and stretch. Let it go. All the way up into that lucky rainbow position. Pot of gold is actually in your heart. Open up. Exhale. Fold. Epic. I can see you. It looks beautiful. Take a breath in, elongating tail and crown. And this time we'll take our right foot back, setting up for Anjani. Press forward. Go up. Feel for tension in the front of the thigh. Tension is stretch. I know we think of tension as in mental tension, but I mean actually physics, tension, stretch in the thigh. Now send your chest forward and up. Find your right foot anchored. And welcome in your breath body, what the yogis call the pranamaya kosha. Breathe in. Relax the manamaya kosha, the mind. So your outer body can soften. Breathe into what's tight. And as you breathe out, let go of the stiffness as it becomes more of a gel-like substance. One more time. All right, ready? Hands to the floor. Right foot is active. Glide the left hip back, reach out through the crown. Really isolate the movement in the hip flexion area, okay? Hip flexion. Pelvic and femur head junction. Fold there. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now as you reach for the fingertips, keep reaching, but use your fingertips to press the left hip back and in a little more when you feel that there's room to grow into. Breath in. Breath out. Now come up, you're going to have a little semi-bend to the knee, a little mini bend, which will help you not cramp, but will also help you to do this. Breathe in, and then throw an imaginary shot put with your right hand. Left hip's dragging back. Stay longer on the central axis of the body as you bring your right hand to the left shin, left arm up. Now you got to really drive your right shoulder forward from your right hip, or right foot, sorry, otherwise you feel unsteady. Breathe in. Go deeper if your body lets you in. Breathe out. Now when I say breathe in, I mean specifically to the area around your left hip, driving back. Breathe in. And breathe on out. I know you feel that. Frame your left foot. Take a breath in. Drag the left hip back as you fold deeply in the hip flexing area. Breathe out. This time come into a high plank position. Breathe in. And lower down bionic man style. Even make the bionic man sound. Up and over the toes. Breathe in. exhale, glide back. Downward dog. That was amazing. Take a breath in. Take a nice deep exhalation out. Okay, so a couple rounds of triangle. Take your right foot up. A couple different versions. Step the right foot forward between the hands. Now come up to a reverse warrior to start with. So the right knee is bent. It's a nice long stride. Send the hips down. Find that fountain up through the spine. Okay, ready? Triangle. Right leg straightens as we side tilt the pelvis. Left hip can come forward. It's a sit bone, right sit bone that's moving. Right sit bone that's lifting up, tugging away from the right foot. Left arm uncurls upwards towards the sky like these spring leaves opening. And let all the breath out. Sometimes people, have different places where they place their hand. I want you to kind of back slap with your right hand into your shin, right shin. And then turn using your left hip muscles on the side, your pelvis up. Take one more breath. So I want to get into the adductors there. Now reverse your warrior. This time take your left hand for your right thigh. There's a little action of your left forearm on your right butt cheek. You're going to try and like a rolling pin, baking rolling pin. You're going to try and press the left forearm down to pull that right hip down towards the floor as you lift the right hips up in opposition. Keep breathing in. Now straighten your right leg. And we call this layback triangle, surfer's triangle. Start here with the right hand on the right thigh and sweep the left hand over your head. Now your head doesn't go forward, it goes off to the side. So you're doing like a wild thing position. Now if you feel better with your hand on the thigh, just stay there. You're trying to stretch your left obliques sideways if you don't know. But if you have more range of motion, your body lets you in, your right hand starts to come down. Open up and press your hips towards the left. Keep breathing. Now, man, this opens the doorway to bliss. Keep breathing in. And breathe out. One more. I know you want to get out of it, but stay one more time. Okay, frame your right foot. Bueno. Step on back, downward dog. Breathe in. Send your chest through and breathe out. Now bring your chin into your chest. Ripple forward into a plank position again. Press your hips back into an Anahatasana pose. Your chest goes through your arm. So I want you to really get the spinal wave motion going. Breathe in, plank. Lead with your butt as you press back, press your chest through. So you kind of spring load it in your spine. To flow forward into a rippled plank. And to press your chest through your arms in a downward dog. Now lift your left leg up. Then go ahead, step your left foot far. Turn your right heel down. Slowly come up into our reverse warrior. Epic. Epic. So you don't have to do this, but sometimes I just take my hand here. And then as I press my knee out, my left knee, I just feel my tailbone going down. My hand's just reminding that tailbone to go down. And again, you have this fountain right here going up. It goes out through the left arm. Breathe. Whatever you said you were feeling lucky for, go. Breathe it in. Okay, straighten the left leg. Trikonasana triangle. Mini bend to the knees so you can move the pelvis more without too much tension on the left hip, thigh. Now, straighten the left leg, drive your right hip back, reach out through the crown like someone's pulling the hair in your head away from the right hip. Now reach out through your right arm. For consistency's sake, I'm pressing, I'm not just resting my hand on my shin, I'm pressing it. I'm rolling my my shin into my hand and pressing back. So I'm trying to get a tug going on in my adductors. I'm using my glute minimus, the side muscle, to pull back and away. Keep breathing. Now we're coming back up to reverse warrior. So we're bending the left leg. Doesn't have to be, the shin bone doesn't have to be perpendicular to the floor. The right hand reaches for your left thigh. I hope that actually made sense to you, but you're trying to catch your left butt cheek, technical term, and pull it down. Now that should give you more lift in the front. Go, open. Now in a way, like the way I like to sequence is almost like spring-loaded, like your springs. I think a lot about springs. So you are a spring in the spring season, and then straighten your left leg, and as you uncoil, you're moving the other way. Now your right arm reaches over the head, regular triangle, I'm here, but now I'm going to take my right hand, reverse karate chop it over the head, and lay it back. And that moves the stretch into my right side waist. And I can bring my left hand down. It should be the same stretch as you get in a wild thing. Breathe in with the addition of the left leg stretch. Breathe out. Try and roll that thigh inwards. Breathe in. And breathe out. Now last one, this is where you want to get out of it. We're going to stay one more time. Unless it hurts you. Breathe out. Hands to the floor. Oh my God, that feels amazing. Step back into a downward facing dog position. Breath in. Wow, I feel awake now. And breathe on out. Come into a plank. And lower on down to the belly. Tuck the tops of the feet onto the floor. Spread your toes. Now, cobra. You can use your arms, but don't dump into the back. If I just use my arms and dump into the back, it pinches. So as I straighten my arms, I gotta pull my chest forward so it kind of keeps my lower back like a telescope. Elongate it. Breathe in. Breathe out. Pull your chest through your arms one more time. And then bring it on down. Oh my God. Woo. That feels awesome. Bend your knees. Hands on your ankles. Bow. Breath in. Pull the feet back. Spread open through your toes. Gather your knees. Open up your chest. Breath in. Breath out. Chest forward. Toes open. Spread those toes. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now, if you need more stretch, bring your knees closer together. Last 2 breaths. And then bring it on down. Oh my God. Downward dog. Hips press up and back. Breath in. Your spine should feel long. No compression. No like intense pinching compression. And breathe on out. Yeah. Okay. Take your right foot, reach upwards towards the sky. Step it forward between the hands. And let's come on up into a high lunge this time. So we've done low lunge to start with. I really just want you to feel that you're rolling this left thigh in again. Left thigh in, heel back. Knee forward. So have a tug of war between your right knee and your left heel. Now, engage your lower 2 abdominals to lift your pubic bone in the front. So you really get that left hip flexor stretch. Arms up. Now you can start to arch back a little bit more. A few rainbow shapes today. One of our themes, rainbows. Open up. Go a little deeper. Press your left hip forward though. Straighten your left leg. Now let's go into a twist. Okay, left hand forward. And we'll revolve slowly. Left elbow around the right knee. Can you take your right hand in a fist? Sometimes we do it this way and press your left hand with your right knuckles. Now actually press, make pressure, and use the elbow on the knee to lift your chest actually up away from the knee. Now lean your right shoulder back. So kind of away from the right hip. Pull your right hip back, elongate through the crown. Breathe in. Breathe out. Do it again. Breathe in. You can open your arms up if you want to. And breathe out. All right, giving you a shaka. That was awesome. Downward dog. Press back. So it's a nice practice that I have lined up for us again. Just kind of taking all the flashy Instagram poses out of the practice and just really getting deep into the layers of the body. Left leg up. Step your left foot forward. Coming into that high lunge. So I just want to share something that I think about a lot, which is that the advanced yoga is really doing simple poses well. Okay, so your right thigh rolls in, the right hip presses forward away from the right foot, but the right heel presses back away from the right hip. Arms up. Now for this first version, we're going to actually connect the ribs in the front and try and lean back at your pelvis on thigh bone. Now you can start to arch back. Send your chest forward. You can bring your arms closer together so more of the arms come up by the ears. Keep breathing. Let's straighten your legs for a second. Reach your right hand forward. Take your left hand on your left thigh. As you bend your knee, press your knee a little bit towards the right so you're really getting more of the armpit around. Now, you can't see this hand as much now, but my left hand, like we did on the other side, my left knuckles are pressing into my right palm. And I'm leveraging off of my left knee. So as I press my left hand into my right, there's a kinetic chain of energy that presses my left knee in. And that helps me to turn my chest more up and pull my left hip back away from the knee to stretch my hip. Breathe in. Breathe out. Shoulders back. One more time. All right, move in, everybody. Hands up to the floor. And we're going to step back, downward dog. Take a breath in. And release something out. Take your right foot upwards toward the sky, moving towards the end of practice. And we'll just kind of take the right foot forward. Lower the intensity, meaning how much we're resisting gravity. And do a kind of more, not this less intense, but less work metabolically. Pigeon. Take your right foot over to the left. Walk your left foot back. Your hands are in front of you. And they add a press back. Now anchor your left foot down. Anchor it down, whatever. You can be in toe mound or the top of the foot. I don't care. But from your left foot, I want you to reach your left hand as far forward as possible so the whole left side of your body is long. Now your right hand's off to the right and it's pressing that right hip back. If this is too much stretch for you, you simply bring your knee in. You're up higher from the floor. Hips. Now we're going to try and revolve slowly our left hand over towards the right. Now, again, if this is too much, just stop there. But if you want to keep moving, your body lets you in. Make sure that it's allowed you in. So you can't just let your body open up on will. You got to do it when your body opens, this next step. But when you feel your body is sufficiently melted, take your left elbow more forward. Take that same hand grip. The right knuckles press into the left palm. Anchor your left foot. Turn more upwards towards the sky. And don't let your hips come forward towards your knee. Press them back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take a big breath in. Don't worry if your right hip's not on the floor. And bring your hands to the floor. Face forward again. Come up out of the post, like just up higher. Now, we won't do it with a twist. This time I want you to take your left hand on your right foot. Move your right knee and your right hip back, only if you need more stretch. Now start to lean forward more. Okay, so specifically you're adding hip flexion. But drive your right hip back, roll your right thigh, and now you got to get into that breath body. You got to get into your breath here. Feel your diaphragm going down when you breathe in. And let something out, let it go. It's intense. You got to let it go. Do it again. Open your mouth. One more. Go. Breathe in. And breathe out. Now come on back when you're ready into a downward facing dog shape. And even though that was intense, just notice the feeling of freedom in your right hip. Lift your left leg up. Step your left foot forward between the hands. And I'll just pause here for a little announcement. And that is, I do not teach yoga alignment. I'm teaching what we call sensation-guided attunement. So don't worry if you bone, you don't have to have this shin bone aligned with the front of the mat and all that stuff that actually hurts people. Just have your left foot over to the right now. And what we're trying to do is like a guitar string, is you want to have the right amount of tone on the left hip. So if you need more tone, tension, stretch, start to press your left hip back. If you didn't need more tone, stay up high. And you already had that high note. And take your right hand and revolve it over towards the left. And you're taking, if your right elbow is in line with the shoulder, you won't get the backward press. Bring your right elbow more forward. Your left knuckles pressing into the right palm. Now, make sure that you find what we call the yin force, the softening down force. When you breathe in, can you feel your left hip expanding? And if your answer is no, you've gone into the realm of rigidity, you got to back up. Okay, breathe in. Turn more the chest upwards towards the sky. Reach through the crown, left hip back. Go one more time, breathe in. Now bring your hands back to center. My intention here is to take the lid off the pressure cooker. Okay, so just come out of the pose enough that you feel that there's less intensity. Just give yourself a break so your muscles can relax. Okay, now we're going to add that stretch. If you need more intensity, the left knee and the right knee move back. Keyword, if you need more intensity. Reach forward through the right hand. Again, even though you're reaching, you're pressing the hips back. And we're spinning the hips towards the left. Don't worry if the left butt cheek's not on the floor. Again, the sensation part of sensation-guided attunement is don't worry about what you look like from the outside. Just breathe into the stretch. Let the amount of stretch, the feeling of stretch in the left hip guide how deep to go. Breathe into that new space. And breathe tightness out. Do it again. Take a breath in. And take a deep exhalation out. Bring all the weight onto the left hip. Sweep both feet forward. All right. We got to stretch open this front body to finish with. Draw your knees in, bring your heels onto the floor. Just stay lying on the floor, okay? But I just want to demonstrate something in less than 10 seconds, and that is just when you think about how much of our day we're like this or like this. Okay, so we're going to try and do the opposite motion. Okay, so bring your heels in, lift your pubic bone upwards towards the sky for this pose that I know you love, Setu Bandhasana. You can interlace your hands, press your pinkies down. And get this nice stretch through the front of the body. Breathe in. Breathe out. Go again, lift your hips, lengthen your knees. And bring it on down. Ready? If that was plenty of stretch, if your sensations were like, yeah, I got enough stretch in the front body, that's fine. If you feel that you start to get a pinch in this pose, then don't go up so high. Okay, so we're going into wheel. First one, I don't expect too much out of you. Just first one's just the kind of welcome to wheel club. Second one will go deeper. Ready? Hands in place. Lift up to bridge or wheel. 5 counts. We're almost done the practice, by the way. This will be our last hard thing. So it's like our rainbow shape in one of our themes. The pot of gold is in your wrists, in your hands. One more breath. And bring it on down to the floor. Relax. Relax. You might lose my microphone when I do this, but make a hoarse sound like. Okay. Round 2. First one was just the rehearsal. So lift up. Now if you want to go into the full pose, go for it. We're going to come up for the count of 7. If that hurts your back, please don't. Ready? Get ready. Don't go yet. 1, 2, 3. So we're all on the same page. Here we go. Count of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Press your hands to lift your chest. 5. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 6. And then come on down. All right. That's it for the hard work, everybody. Bring your knees into the chest. And now on the other Blissology On Demand practices, I'm sure you've seen this, but I do it all the time. I learned this through my teacher Joya. She used to do sequences by Iyengar, vinyasa sequences. And we always did these after our back bends, or what I call front body stretches. Hold your right big toe. Now as you straighten your left leg, don't do it yet. Keep your knees bent. I want you to imagine, those TheraBand elastics? TheraBands? As you straighten your legs, imagine that you're stretching elastics, but also stretch one over your head with your left hand. So slowly pull those apart, awakening the toes. Drive the left hip down. The right hip down, away from the right shoulder. Breathe in. Now, if any of that was too hard for you, you're simply holding the back of the right calf muscle, or if you're smart and have a strap close to you, use that. Breathe in. Breathe out. I could write a whole book about your diaphragm, but I want you to feel when you breathe in, your diaphragm goes down towards the pelvis. It actually presses your pelvis away from your shoulders. Now that gives you the lower back traction. Breathe out. And as a bonus, it gives you calmness. Breathe in. Breathe out. Ready? We'll switch. But I want you to do this like you're expressing something. You're not just mindlessly changing sides. Feel what you're doing as you're doing. Start really small. And again, like a leaf in the spring and a time lapse, slowly start to uncoil, unfurl out into the springtime sun. Now I'm actually pulling my left hip down and away, pressing out through my big toe bone. And as I breathe out, I remind myself of our theme that we're not just stretching muscles and tissues, collagen. We are getting into the liquid membrane underneath all that and just letting the body, again, become more of a gel. Less like dried up grizzle you would find around a steak. Breathe in and find that fluid body in your left hip. And let the rigid body out through an open mouth. Reach out through the endpoints one more time. Let's hands, feet, head. Breathe out. Lift both legs up. If you're, again, not quite so mobile, then you're holding the backs of the calf muscles. We're almost done, everybody. Hold the feet. That feels better. You're trying to imagine that if I was in the room with you and you give me permission, I'd take my hands on your thighs about here, and I would pull your thighs down and away so your lower back lengthens, and the attachment points of the hamstrings move in opposition to the feet. But what you have, instead of my hands there, is you have your lower back muscles and your rear upper glute muscles to pull your hips down and away to traction out that spine. Breathe into that space. Use your diaphragm. Soften the pelvis and rib cage down when you breathe out. One more time. Now stay right here, okay? So this pose is not meant for everybody every day of the week. It might have been fine yesterday, but maybe not good today. So feel you can move back to this. Otherwise, we're going to flip slowly onto our back for halasana. I'm just showing you if I'm a little bit tighter, I can actually support my hands on my ankles. I don't have to bring my feet over my head. A nice thing to do is bring your feet onto a wall. But if your feet come to the floor, great. You can interlace your hands and press your pinkies down, and this will stretch out muscle fibers and fascia in the back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Do one more. Make your lower back long no matter what pose you're doing, what version. Now uncurl nice and slow. Uncurl nice and slow. Bring your knees into the chest. All right. We're going to do a super simple twist. And my intention here, besides the psychological calming effects, is to stretch this whole, you can even touch these areas, the whole outer left leg out through your obliques and continue one chain out through your left arm. So take your left hand, reach it towards the left. I'm lucky I have this piece of furniture here. I mean, you put a sandbag there. If you don't have anything, just imagine you can pin that left arm down, bend your knees and bring them up into the chest, right hand, left knee, and just let your legs go over towards the right. Now, what I want you to feel is the kind of buoy, like an ocean buoy. When you breathe in, your knees, your chest, and your hand actually come up away from the floor. But on that delicious out breath, the knees go towards the right more and the left hand swishes down towards the left. Look left. Don't force it. Again, our object is to melt. Breathe in. And breathe out. Can we take about 20 more seconds? I won't talk, just keep long breath. And I just want you to get feedback with the floor. You can feel your ear and your shoulder hitting the floor. More on exhalation. I want you to hear your own breath. Okay, bring your knees into your chest. I hope you feel the time it takes to really let the liquid body flow. So we're starting the pose. Our so-called anchor point is going to be the right knuckles on the floor. So if you have something to hang on to in your furniture in your house, do that. Otherwise, don't worry, just keep it pinned down. Left hand is on the right knee. And it's really important, I don't know if I mentioned on the other side, but you got to look towards your hand. Now the hand on my knee can control the amount of stretch or tone. If I need more stretch, I press the knee down, and if I need less, I don't. Look right, breathe in. And breathe out. So I gave you all the technical cues on the other side, so you can just get into the breath here. I'm talking less. You're listening to the sound of your own breath and feeling how each exhalation helps your right ear and shoulder sink down more, and your knees. And take one last exhalation and feel that the exhalation is magically delicious. And the magic is that your ear has come down more towards the floor. We have let go of old stories. So let's feel that we're ready now for the most important pose, Shavasana. So let your feet flop open. Let your palms turn open. And you know this already, so much of the tightness in our body is from our thoughts. Breathe in, expand into any tightness in your body armor. And breathe out into the new liquefied you. Belly moves up when we breathe in. Belly sinks down when we breathe out, and we have 2 more minutes to get off of the roller coaster called life and practice stillness. Relax your throat, open your mouth slightly. Few more breaths and just again sink into your calmest and most grateful self. Let the fairies and the leprechaun sprinkle you with the dust of grace. Breathe in to your light body, the Anandamaya Kosha. And let go of your worries, let them go. Okay, we gotta wrap this up, but we'll do it slow. Come on up slowly to a seated pose. Okay, so I've got a nice little meditation cushion, but if you have a blanket or something to sit on, do that. Now, I was giving Nancy a little massage last night. She's like, "Oh my God, you know so much about the body." And I do. I mean, I just love studying about the body. But it's not like I am doing this to just become some smart person. I'm doing this because I feel like if we can understand the mechanisms of the body, we can set the tone for how we feel, which means that we can show up in life how we want in our relationships with ourselves, others, and our communities and nature. It's a Blissology mission. Something really cool I just learned is that an old yogic technique called Brahmari, which is actually humming. I don't know if my headphones will cut out when I do this. It's like simply making a bumblebee sound. Okay, that can actually increase. Studies have shown that actually increases nitric oxide in your body. So nitric oxide, if you don't know, is a vasodilator. So it actually deconstricts your blood vessels, so you can actually lower your blood pressure. It's amazing. So it's putting kind of more modern science on a very, very, very old practice. Let's try. It's a season where the bees are coming out. Just take a few normal breaths, breathe out. Spine long, center. What the Buddha calls the axis mundi, the immovable spot. As life pulls us around in so many different directions, emotionally, with our schedules, just find your immovable spot, your center. Park it here in the present with your breath. Breathe out. I'm just gonna make that bumblebee breath. You just close your mouth and hum. Breathe in. Before we do the next round, can you just get a little bit deeper into the anatomy? Take your thumb or your tongue and bring it onto the soft palate, and kind of right there in the back of your throat is your pituitary and hypothalamus, your kind of thermostat of the body for your hormones. Okay, you can bring your tongue back to normal. I just want to orientate you. So when you make that bumblebee sound again, just try and really kind of vibrate that area so it can send signals of peace throughout the body, as well as the nitric oxide or emotional benefits. Ready? Here we go. Breathe out, relax. Enjoy this. Breathe in. Stay in that quiet space. We'll do one more. Just, you can feel it working. One more, you ready? Last one. Breathe out. Good vibrations, literally. Breathe in. Bumblebee sound now, silenced. Let's feel the contrast between that vibration, sound, and the silence you feel now. And if you're okay, let's just stay one more minute. Something I say all the time is that in this very loud and word-clogged world, the job of a yogi is to create sacred silence around things. Chin mudra, index fingers and thumbs touch, heart opens, open your mouth. As you connect this, it's like a battery almost, just connecting the current in your fingers, connect to the current of the universe, the cosmos, the light that flows through the infinite universe. Breathe it in, you are part of this miracle. And whether you're Irish, whether you're from anywhere on planet Earth or anywhere else in the universe, you are part of this light vibration. And we are so lucky for that. Lastly, before we finish, just recall again what you are grateful and lucky for. Open your hands up. Receive. And then bring all that light and love, that pot of gold, into your heart. Press this gold light into your heart. Hands in prayer. Be able to say it one more time to close it out, that in this loud and word-clogged reality, the job of a yogi is to create sacred silence around things.